the lineup, I'm Megan McDonald. Before we preview WAC Hoops this week, we're going to switch it up a little bit because WAC Tennis has started, and one of our schools had a little mid-week matchup. That was UTRGV hosting the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Take a look and see what happened. The Vaqueros have lost twice against this team in prior seasons, but the UTRGV men got out to an early lead after picking up doubles points. UMBC answered with a win on court 3, then Kobe Jansen put the match away as he defeated Malker Svard 6-3, 6-3 on court 2, and finally Juan Cruz Soria closed things out. The women, on the other hand, didn't have as great of a start, trailing UMBC 2-3, but rallied with 3 straight singles victories to defeat the Retrievers 4-3. Okay, back to basketball. Let's talk our women's game of the week. It's Seattle U traveling down to UTRGV. This is a huge matchup. Number 2 versus number 3 in the WAC standings. Both teams are having a record-setting season. We'll start with UTRGV. The Vaqueros won their 5th road game of the season against UMKC just last week, which ties the program record. That win also was head coach Larry Tidwell's 21st WAC win for the 3rd-year coach, which ties the program record for career conference wins held by Denny Downing. Tidwell is already the program's all-time leader in winning percentage and conference winning percentage. But let's check out UTRGV's opponent, Seattle U. Head coach Joan Bonvicini earned her 700th career win this season, becoming just the 17th D1 women's coach to do so, and is currently 10th on the D1 active women's basketball coaches list by wins. The all-time series between the two teams is tied 2-2, so this should be a good one. Game of the week, be sure to log into the WAC Digital Network to catch it. Heading on over to the men's side, we're going to talk game of the week here too. Similar storylines. We have number 2 in the WAC standings taking on number 3. One of them defending WAC champ, the other undefeated in conference play this season. That's New Mexico State taking on CSU Bakersfield. Not only are the runners undefeated in conference play, they're also perfect at home. The Aggies' 14-game winning streak against WAC opponents was snapped earlier by Grand Canyon on the Lopes home floor, but rebounded nicely and picked up 2 wins last week. Ian Baker has been key in leading New Mexico State at the point, averaging 15 points and 4 assists a game. CSU Bakersfield's Dedrick Bazile is also having a great season, coming off being named WAC Player of the Week this past week. The junior guard averaged 19.5 points on 58% shooting just last week, so this guy is hot. We'll see if the Aggies can contain him. There's more to life than games of the week, so let's take a look at other key matchups. On the women's side, Utah Valley hosts UMKC. Both teams have dropped 3 conference games, so will not take this game lightly. This could be a turning point for the Wolverines and the Roos to get a win and gain some momentum in WAC play. Bakersfield travels to defending champ and undefeated in conference action, New Mexico State. Can the runners hand the Aggies their first WAC loss? We'll see this weekend. Over on the men's side, first place in conference standings, Grand Canyon is on the road taking on UMKC. GCU has not dropped a WAC game this season, but UMKC has only dropped 1 at home, so the Lopes will be tested in their first conference road game. Seattle U hosts UTRGV. The Redhawks will be looking to rebound after dropping their last game, while the Vaqueros have all the momentum on their side, winning 2 straight last week. As I mentioned earlier, 2 game of the weeks this weekend on the WAC Digital Network, but those aren't the only games, so take a look at the full schedule. 9 games total, 4 on the men's side. We have Grand Canyon at Chicago State and UMKC hosting Utah Valley. Later in the weekend, that New Mexico State CSU Bakersfield game is on the WAC Digital Network, along with that Seattle U UTRGV game. 5 games in women's hoops, that's including the game of the week. Vaqueros hosting the Redhawks, plus Utah Valley hosts UMKC, New Mexico State hosts Seattle U and also Bakersfield, and last but certainly not least, UMKC plays at Grand Canyon, all live on the WAC Digital Network. All those games you can find at wacsports.com/live. For more information, check us out at wacsports.com or follow us on Twitter and Facebook.